Well, hello everyone. Um, I'm asking your help. Anyone out there who has knowledge of DSLR cameras or a Canon 5D Mark IV? I'm having an issue with it now, which I'd like to show you. First of all, if my voice goes all funny, pay no attention. I've had a bad cold and throat infection for the last week and a half, so I'm full of mucus. But anyway, so this is my pride and joy. This is my Canon 5D Mark IV. It's a full frame DSLR camera. It's considered quite a legend in its time, and I absolutely love this camera. It's my main artillery, so to speak, the main tool I use. I have a crop sensor camera I use as well, but this is the main one. The dynamic range is incredible, and it has a very high ISO, low noise output, which is phenomenal for night sky work. So I use this camera a lot for shooting time lapses of the aurora and various other sky phenomena, and it is really amazing. It allows me to take very short exposures. Say there's an extremely bright aurora, exposures could be anywhere from 2 to 4 seconds, say at ISO 6400, and the images are so clean and with very little noise. And that allows me to take a lot of frames and hence get better time lapses. But I'm having a problem. This has just appeared over the last couple of weeks, and it may not happen now when I'm trying to show you it because it's intermittent and random, but it keeps losing power. My camera keeps randomly turning off. Sometimes it works fine and then it randomly turns off. I don't know if it's a battery issue or is it a connectivity issue, a circuit board, or something else. I don't understand anything about it. But I'm going to try and show you here now. So I have my 24-70 Tamron lens on here. It's a really good heavy lens. I'm going to turn it on. So the camera comes on, and you often see a red light coming on the back here too, flashing to indicate the power is coming on. So it looks okay at the minute, and I was out last night aurora hunting, which didn't work out, but I did get this nice glitter path of the moon setting over a local loch, so I shot a time lapse of that. So everything looks okay. I can still use it. Here's the thing: last night I have the camera mounted on a tripod, and it turns on and it works. I can take exposures and I can shoot time lapse. But if I touch the camera at all, like this here, to adjust it on the tripod, the whole thing turns off, and then the red light flashes, and then it turns back on again. But if I tilt my camera this way, high up on the tripod to shoot nearly overhead, the camera switches off and goes black and does not come on again. So I'm going to try this out now. I'm going to adjust this exposure down for daylight settings. Okay. See, this will probably not happen when I want it to. Okay, so, and also, here's another thing which may be an indication of a power issue. I have the autofocus turned off on this lens, and it tends to work better. But if I turn the autofocus on the lens on, it seems to zap the power, and it's more likely to switch itself off and go dark again. So I'm going to hold this up. Okay. Yeah, that's working fine at the minute. No issue. Okay, I'm going to try switch on autofocus just for example. Of course, it would work fine now whenever when I don't want it to, but it will eventually stop, randomly just go dark. Turn that back. There's live view. Live view's working. Sometimes if you press live view, the whole thing switches off. But just pretend the problem is still persistent. Sometimes it just does this and tries to make a fool out of me. But at the moment it's working fine, but I guarantee it when I need it, it'll stop working, and this happens every single day. So I've been looking at things on YouTube, trying to brainstorm it, and people were saying, take the battery out, the memory card out, remove the lens, turn it off overnight and leave it sitting. And I've done that and it made no difference. Others have said, take out the battery and press the shutter button down when there's no power in it, and hold the shutter button down for 30 seconds or so. That way it can drain any sort of residual charge from it. Is it a battery issue? I don't know, to tell you the truth. Like for example, I come back from a shoot last night, I haven't charged up. The battery here is reading full. The battery is healthy looking, it's full. There's two batteries in this battery grip. I thought for a while it was the battery grip itself, because sometimes if you tighten it too much, it'll turn off, or if you loosen it, it'll turn back on again. So it's almost like a connectivity issue again. I've took both batteries out and put in one battery individually and turned it on, and it works. So it can't be the battery. So I don't understand what's going on. Some people suggested it's a circuit board in here or something else. Who knows? But the fact that I can't even turn my camera at a 45-degree angle on my tripod to shoot the stars and it turns itself off is a real problem. Also, sometimes if I hold the lens here with my hand, there, it's just done it. It's just turned itself off. See what I mean? It's turned itself off. I've literally just held it onto this lens at the front, and it's lost power and disconnected. There's no red light on. Nothing's working. So if I take my hand off that, there's the red light flashing, and it's lost power again. It seems to be very sensitive. But now if I just set that there, there's the red light flashing. Now it's come back on again. So I'm glad that happened. That's a good example of what's going on. So my question is to anybody: have you had this happen to your DSLR before, especially if you're a Canon 5D Mark IV owner? Is this something simple that can be fixed? Is there any tips you can give me? Do you have to send it away to a repair shop? If so, do you recommend anyone in Northern Ireland? And does anyone have a brief idea of the cost involved? Because I really need this camera working. I really need it for the aurora season. So, and while we're here, battery info. Okay, so there's one thing I wanted to show you here. That displays the two batteries in the battery grip. You see the bottom one has a shutter count of 102. I don't really know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. It should be far more than that. And a recharge performance, it shows the 3 bars healthy green. And the top battery, as you can see, has been used more, but it only has one red light. The 3 bars are blank except for one, and that's from red, indicating the recharge performance is poor. So could this one battery be the problem? Hard to know. But what I'm going to do is, just to show you, I'm going to isolate these batteries. See, one's a good Canon battery, the other's a third party battery, came with a battery grip. So I'm going to keep the third party one in, plug it in, right? Turn on the camera. See, it's still turning on. Battery info. So that's a good battery. Believe it or not, that third party battery is better than the Canon one. So it's fine. It works. No issues. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. And this time I'll put in the Canon battery, which is supposed to be the better brand. Turn it on. Okay, it's not turning on. The red light flashed, but it didn't come on. It's playing up again, so try it again, turn it on. Now it's come on now. It's working now. I'm going to go into that battery menu just to confirm things. Yeah, it's the one with the red bar. So maybe this battery is the problem. But yet the camera still turns on, both of them individually. So I don't understand it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that trick. You take the battery out, press the shutter button down for 30 seconds. I won't have you watching for 30 seconds. Okay, so the other issue is, could it be the battery grip? Sometimes when I adjust that wheel, the red light comes on and comes off again. So I'm unscrewing the battery grip. The problem is, I can't test out the individual batteries here because I've lost the little latch. This door goes across. So I may have to buy a new one. But because I don't have that door latch, the terminal on it won't power up, so it's not telling me anything. So I'm back to using the battery grip. Okay, tighten it up. Okay, and power on. Now she's not powering on, she's playing up again. Nothing. Dead. Now if there's the red light coming on again. I adjusted that wheel on the battery grip and she's powered up again. I'm going to listen it a little bit, sometimes that helps. Okay, now it's working again. So this is the issue I'm talking about, this is the problem. Back to square one. The camera works sometimes and it lets me down other times. I can't, if I touch the lens or maneuver it about in the tripod head or hold it a certain way, it powers off. If I tilt it upward at a steep angle when it's tripod mounted, it turns off and won't come back on again. It seems to work when the camera's on the tripod and sitting sort of roughly level, horizontal angle. So what is the problem? Can anyone help me out here? I'd much appreciate it. So, thanks for listening to me slobbering with my cold, a nose cold, and listening to this complaint of mine. That I absolutely love this camera. It's a serious piece of kit, even though it's kind of dated now compared to some of the mirrorless and new full frame cameras are out. This here performs exceptionally well. I highly recommend it. It's a phenomenal camera. I got amazing results from it, and I hope to intend to do so. I can't really go on without it because it's expensive. So if you can help me out, give me any advice at all, any camera experts out there, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what could be the problem. Do you think I should just buy 2 new batteries and a new battery grip? Is it the XD card? Even though it seems to be working fine, do I need to buy a new XD card? Some people have suggested doing that. Should I just nip it in the bud and go to a Canon dealer or a camera repair shop and ask them to have a look at it and get a price quote? If you know about the stuff, please let me know. I appreciate your help. I'm looking forward to getting back in action again with this camera whenever the dark season returns. Again, it is my main time-lapse camera, and I also use it a lot for thunderstorms as well because of the dynamic range. It's really, really phenomenal. So thanks for listening to me, and I hope to get out again soon. We're in NLC season at the minute. It's just beginning. We're in a bright summer twilight sky here, so I look forward to capturing some noctilucent clouds, and we're hoping for a few thunderstorms this summer as well to get out chasing. And then after that, the clock keeps ticking and the dark skies will be coming back around mid-August, and we'll be hunting for the aurora again for the rest of the season. So looking forward to plenty of nature outings and excitement. So thanks for listening.